Northern Norway, May 1999. A mountain stream runs fast and cold beneath a crust of ice, swollen with meltwater. And under that ice, pressed flat against it from below, is the pale shape of a young woman. Her arms are stretched out, her face is turned upward toward the light she can see but cannot reach. The ice is only inches thick. It might as well be a wall of stone. Above her, two of her friends are on their knees in the snow, gripping her skis, holding on with everything they have, because the only part of her still above the surface are her feet. The woman beneath the ice is a doctor. Her name is Bagenholm, and she's 29 years old. And in the minutes that follow, she will cross a line that almost no human being has ever crossed and returned from. She was, by every account, exactly where she wanted to be. A trainee orthopedic surgeon at the hospital in Narvik, in the far north of Norway, she had come to the mountains to ski with two colleagues after a long shift. The three of them knew the terrain well. They had skied this gully many times, a steep descent that funneled down toward a frozen stream at the bottom. It was a familiar run on a familiar evening. Then Anna lost control. She fell and slid headfirst down the slope and struck the thin ice covering the stream where the water still moved fast beneath it. The ice gave way under her head and shoulders. The current took the rest. In an instant she was under, dragged forward by the meltwater, her body forced beneath the unbroken sheet of ice downstream. Only her skis and her feet remained above the surface, jammed against the lip of the hole. Her friends caught them, and there they held. Anna was now trapped in a pocket of freezing water, face up against the ice, in total cold. Her friends could not pull her free. The current was too strong, the ice too solid. All they could do was hold on and call for help. What no one watching could have known is that, for a few critical minutes, Anna was not yet drowning. She had found an air pocket. Beneath the ice, where the water had not completely filled the space, a thin layer of trapped air had formed against the frozen ceiling. Anna, conscious and trained, pressed her face into it and breathed. For roughly 40 minutes, she fought. She struggled against the current, against the cold seeping into every part of her, against the rising certainty of what was happening. A doctor, she understood her situation with terrible clarity. And as she lay there, the freezing water was doing something to her body that would, much later, change everything. It was cooling her, not slowly but fast, through her skin, through her skull, into her blood and her brain. Then, after about 40 minutes, she stopped moving. The air pocket was no longer enough. Her heart, slowed almost to nothing by the cold, finally stopped. By every clinical measure at that moment, Anna Bagenholm died. But her friends did not let go. They held her feet against the ice and waited for the rescue they had called, refusing to release the only handhold they had on her life. Help was coming, but it was not close. This was the Norwegian wilderness. A rescue helicopter had been dispatched from the hospital in Tromsø, more than an hour's flight away. On the ground, the first responders arrived with a pointed garden shovel and began to dig. They cut a second hole in the ice downstream of her, working frantically to reach her from a different angle. More than 80 minutes after Anna had first gone under, they finally pulled her body from the water. She was limp, she was not breathing, she had no pulse at all. Her skin was the grey-white of deep cold. Her pupils were fixed and dilated. To anyone who found her, she would have appeared unmistakably to be dead. The rescuers began cardiopulmonary resuscitation immediately, there in the snow, pressing on a heart that would not answer. They did not stop. They kept her circulation moving by hand as the helicopter descended toward them. And here the story turns on a single, extraordinary decision. A principle that the doctors of northern Norway had come to live by, drawn from years of treating the frozen and the drowned. The principle is captured in a phrase now famous in emergency medicine: no one is dead until they are warm and dead. The cold that stops a heart can also protect the brain that the heart serves. When the body chills fast enough, its hunger for oxygen collapses. Cells that would die in minutes at normal temperature can, when frozen, endure far longer. The rescuers could not know how much of Anna's brain had survived, but they knew the rule. They would not pronounce her dead until they had warmed her back to life and given that warmed body the chance to refuse. The helicopter lifted her into the night sky and turned south toward the University Hospital of North Norway in Tromsø, where the only machine that could save her was waiting. Throughout the flight, the medical crew never stopped compressions. For the entire journey, machines and human hands did the work of Anna's silent heart, pushing cold blood through a body that gave no sign of life. Word had gone ahead. At the hospital, a team of more than 100 people was being assembled and briefed. Surgeons, nurses, technicians, anesthetists, preparing for a patient who, on arrival, would have no heartbeat at all. Leading them was Dr. Mads Gilbert, an anesthesiologist and emergency physician who had spent his career at the edge of exactly this kind of medicine. He understood, perhaps better than anyone, what cold could take and what it might give back. When Anna arrived, her core body temperature was measured. The reading was 13.7 degrees Celsius, 56 degrees Fahrenheit. It was the lowest body temperature ever recorded in a human being who survived accidental hypothermia. A normal human core temperature is around 37 degrees. Anna's heart, her brain, her blood had been cooled more than 23 degrees below the temperature life is supposed to require. The team did not try to warm her from the outside. At that depth of cold blankets and warm air would not be nearly enough, and warming the surface first can be dangerous. They went instead for the blood itself. Anna was connected to a heart-lung machine, a cardiopulmonary bypass system that takes blood out of the body, warms it, oxygenates it, and returns it. The same technology that allows surgeons to operate on a stopped heart. Slowly, deliberately, the machine began to draw Anna's cold blood out of her body, raise its temperature by careful degrees, and send it flowing back. There was no rushing this. Warm too fast and the heart can fail in new and fatal ways. Hour after hour, the team watched the monitors and waited. They had done everything that could be done. Whether Anna's heart would respond was no longer in human hands. The minutes stretched into something almost unbearable. Her core temperature climbed. 14 degrees, then 15, then higher. And still the line on the monitor stayed flat, a team of 100 holding its breath. And then, as her warming blood reached a critical threshold, something happened that those in the room would remember for the rest of their lives. On the monitor, a single spike, then another. Anna's heart, silent for what had been nearly 3 hours, shuddered and began, on its own, to beat again. It was not a full recovery, not yet. It was a flicker, a fragile rhythm in a body brought back from a cold deeper than almost any other ever survived. But it was real. The heart was beating. From there, the fight changed shape. Anna was alive, but the cold and the rescue had left their mark, and the days that followed would test whether the woman who came back was truly whole. She remained in intensive care for weeks. Her lungs had been damaged, and she was kept on a ventilator. Her body, pushed past every known limit, now had to heal from the inside out. The deepest fear was the one no machine could measure. The brain is the organ least forgiving of lost oxygen. After nearly 3 hours without a working heart, the question hanging over every doctor in Tromsø was simple and merciless. How much of Anna was still there? Her recovery was slow, and it was not painless. There was lasting nerve damage to her hands, the result of the extreme cold that would take months of rehabilitation and never entirely disappear. But the mind, the thing they had fought hardest and most blindly to protect, came back. Anna awoke. She recognized the people around her. The doctor who had gone under the ice was, in every way that mattered, still herself. The cold that had stopped her heart had, in the very same act, preserved the brain that her heart could no longer feed. The thing that nearly killed her was the thing that brought her back. There is a bitter symmetry that Anna herself reportedly understood. Had the water been warmer, she would simply have drowned and her brain would have died in minutes. It was the brutal speed of the freezing that bought the time the rescuers needed. In the months that followed, Anna did something that says as much about her as the survival itself. She returned to the same hospital in the same field of medicine and continued her training. According to those who have told her story, she went on to work as a radiologist at the very hospital in Tromsø whose machines and team had brought her back, choosing to spend her life inside the institution that had refused to let her go. Her case did not stay private. It was studied, published, and debated by doctors around the world, and it reshaped how emergency medicine thinks about the deeply hypothermic patient who arrives without a pulse. Because of Anna Bagenholm, more rescuers in more cold places now know to keep going, to warm before they grieve, to treat the frozen and pulseless not as the dead, but as the not yet revived. She had crossed a line that the human body is not supposed to cross and come back. For more than 80 minutes, she had been beneath the ice, and for nearly 3 hours, her heart had not beaten. And then it did. Somewhere in that frozen stream in northern Norway, the oldest rule of life, that a stopped heart is the end, was quietly broken. And the woman who broke it walked back out into the world to spend her life saving others from the cold she had survived.